to the e-learning portal of GIF. This is the third video of session 2 of the International Rail Transport. I'm going to take you quickly through the disadvantages of international rail transport. There are many of these disadvantages, but most of them are just academic anyway, irrespective of the good number of them. First of all, generally, rail transport is perceived to have severe delays in some cases at border crossings. That's the first disadvantage. And it has no or may not have single agent for door-to-door transport. And there will be interventions of several rail operators and network in international and transit transport. The case in the severity of delays these days are not quite common. They used to happen in Europe, but because of European Union, agreements and whatnot, that severe delays have been drastically reduced. And the fact that there are no single agents, which is genuine case, but these days it's quite different. In Europe, the rail franchises are given to different companies, and you find out that there are different companies operating in a particular corridor or in network. So it's sometimes difficult to have a through transport. You have to interface or deal with different entities in order to have cargo sent on a network. The fact that different franchises and different entities deal with, not easy to negotiate. And this may give, or make the whole structure complicated. In some corridors, in spite of the speed of trains which I have described earlier on, some corridors may not allow trains to run at the speeds that we have discussed. So academically, we could say low commercial speeds in many of the lines. And the necessity of 2 intermediate handling phases in the majority of cases where there's departure and destination rails, unless private sidings are used, also becomes a problem and is seen as a disadvantage in rail transport. When rail is used to carry cargo over short distances, they turn out to be rather expensive because the loading costs money, the offloading costs money, and special devices have to be used in loading and getting the operations through. So generally, using rail for over short distances may comparatively be a bit more dear. There are limitations to standardized units fitting with load, gauge, profile, restriction, and things like that. Load gauge would have to be explained. The load gauge determines the width to which a train or wagon can be loaded and the height to which they can be loaded to prevent the train from colliding into the rail sides. So that sets limits to how load could be fitted into wagons and to what extent a wagon can be efficiently used. These, in short, are the general disadvantages of rail transport, but you realize that many of these are mitigated or seen to with new developments in rail transport. But it's got to be said anyway, seen as they appear as disadvantages of rail transport.